So I want to talk a little bit about the types of sacrifice, because it's good to understand what sacrifice is and what sacrifice is not. Very, very important. And then once we do this, we'll probably be coming up to our first break. So a true sacrifice, as defined in this course, has to be voluntary, has to be intentional, aligned with your core values. So nice thing about this is maybe this word here, it's starting to tie into chapter 2 stuff when we talked about meaning and purpose. So what you are sacrificing or giving up needs to ultimately lead to things in life that give you the greatest meaning, that have the highest meaning for you. They should not be made under coercion or pressure. Nobody should be forcing you to do this. This should be your choice, ultimately. And this is probably the biggest thing right here. So a true sacrifice means you are doing this without expecting anything in return. No expectations. You can hope for something in return. You can hope that by giving something up, it's going to lead to something greater. But you can't expect it to come. Because what happens if you expect something to come and then time passes and it doesn't come, frustration sets in, then you're much more likely to just say, why am I doing this? And you revert back to old behavior. Contrast that with false sacrifice. So unlike true sacrifice, a lot of the times, these are things you give up that don't necessarily are aligned with your values or with what you find meaningful in life. It feels like a transaction. So a transaction, you go to the store, you buy something, you pay money, and you get something in return. That's a transaction. False sacrifice feels like you should get something in return. But that's not what sacrifice is. You should be expecting anything in return. You hope for something, but that doesn't mean you expect it. It feels forced. True sacrifice is not forced. You must voluntarily make those choices. And as a result, when it's forced, it's transactional. The expectations of return are often unrealistic. And this type of sacrifice is very ineffective. It doesn't work. It doesn't yield the fruits. It doesn't yield that optimal being that we're all craving when we're trying to pursue wellness. So let's do a quick question, and then that might be a good spot for us to take our first break today. So we'll start off with the true sacrifices, just a couple. So skipping an hour of TV watching to exercise because you value physical health. So the piece here that makes it a true sacrifice, one aligned with the concept of wellness, is because what you are choosing to give up is closely aligned with something you value. Physical health could be one of those entities that provides tremendous meaning or value. Taking your mom to the doctor's appointment because helping family, and family in a general sense, is something you have value or something you find meaningful. Absolutely. So choosing to take time out of your day to do that? Absolutely. Lending money to a friend because you feel guilty saying no. Why is that a false sacrifice? Yeah, you feel guilty saying no. So sacrifice shouldn't be made out of guilt. No, it should be voluntary and deliberate. You shouldn't feel guilty doing something like that for it to be a true sacrifice. Working overtime expecting a promotion, why is that false? Why is that a false sacrifice? Yeah, you're expecting a promotion. You're expecting to be recognized, expecting to be showered with praises. That's not true sacrifice. That is the pursuit of vanity, the pursuit of gratification. And then finally, helping a friend move because you need help moving something later. Why is that false? It's yeah, this is transactional. You're saying, I'm going to help you move if you help me move. That is not sacrifice. Again, sacrifice is something that you pursue, you do, without expecting anything in return. You might expect something, or you might hope for something. You might hope for something in return, something greater, but you don't expect it. Okay, let's take a little break, and then we'll tidy up sacrifice and dive into change a little bit later. So 11:48, so I'll start talking again just before 12 o'clock. Okay, let's dive back in then, shall we? So we've spent a good chunk of today's class talking about sacrifice. So sacrifice as it pertains to wellness, meaning voluntary, intentional, deliberate choices you make to forego something of perceived value in hopes of obtaining something greater. That's what we're talking about. The last little piece that I wanted to tie off this section about is about what should you be sacrificing. I don't think I need to go into too much detail on this. Deep down, I strongly suspect everybody in this room knows what the answer is to this question. And everybody's answer to this question is going to look a little bit different because we're all different and we all have different things that we perceive as valuable, right? But if you need a little bit of guidance, this is just a general a sense or something to think about. So choosing comfort over growth, distractions for focus, fear for opportunity, negativity for resilience, ego for humility. These are all very broad, but they all have one thing in common, though, that I want to draw your attention to. Every single theme, so to say, is about starting by removing or letting go of something small to start. If you choose to sacrifice or give up something that might be a bit too big, or giving up something that's too much too soon, odds of achieving success are probably going to be a lot lower. So a good example of this is if you're thinking you want to stop staying up until 2 or 3 a.m. every single night. You want to get to bed early. That's the piece you want to try to work on. Don't immediately jump to say, I'm going to be going to bed at 10 o'clock, like starting today. It's not going to work. Your body needs a bit of time to adjust. So instead, start by sacrificing 30 minutes or an hour prior to when you typically go to sleep. And then once you start to get comfortable with that and you master that, then you move it a little bit earlier, a little bit earlier, a little bit earlier. And it's a very gradual process. That's what you would want to adopt. If you're thinking of binge eating, so for me, when I get into a container of Haagen-Dazs chocolate peanut butter ice cream, I can go through half that container in a matter of 2 minutes, no problem. Right? So for me, I wouldn't just say cut the ice cream out altogether. I would probably say, you know what? I'm going to stop at, say, a quarter of the container, perhaps. And then I'm going to try that for a week. And then after that, okay, I'm feeling better. Let's cut it down to an eighth and then maybe just a spoonful. See what I mean? If you try to go too hard, too soon, too fast, odds of success probably not going to hold. Same thing with, fear for opportunity. Maybe there's something that you've always wanted to do, but you were afraid of failure, afraid of the consequences that may result from it, intended or unintended. So small step, don't, immediately go for level 10 difficulty. Start with something that's a little easier, master that, and then progress from there. And a lot of these topics, especially these two, negativity for resilience, ego for humility, we are going to talk a lot about this one in chapter 6 when we get into emotions. And with emotions, we talk a little bit about thoughts. And you're going to see how you can channel this to improve well-being. And then ego for humility, we're going to dive into in chapter 9, where we learn a little bit about what the ego is and how we can exchange some of that for a little bit of humility and how that might help your being long-term.